Welcome back to another episode of Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's the one and only Trinidaddy, Panamanian Poppy, Rude Boy, Top Gunna, Sakpanyamada, Giovanni Anglin. How's it going, everyone? And with me, as always, is Bastionista.
Yo, what's going on? Sorry, I had technical difficulties, but we should be good. Bastionista recording live from LA. Gio is in Brooklyn, New York. What's going on, folks?
I don't know if I'm speaking with Bastionista today. This is someone totally different right now.
So when you see the YouTube video for this episode, you're going to see me wearing a mask. This is my bootleg version with Death Eater.
Huh.
So this is what I'm trying to go as. You know, I got the mask, got the hood. I got a wand. I'm going to decorate this mask a little bit more. But yeah, it should be good to go for Halloween evening.
In the background right now, we have Peter Antel, Stop, Look, and Listen. It's Halloween. And I heard about this song from last year's movie that I saw, Halloween Kills, which was the sequel to the Halloween Michael Myers film, the adaptation, not the readaptation, but I'd say the sequel to the classic 1970s film. They made a new version for 2018, so they retcon like Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween 4, Michael Myers Returns. They retcon all of that. They retcon all the Rob Zombie movies, and then they started off fresh with the 2018 new movie. So this is a great track that I heard from Halloween Kills, Pete Antel.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. And just welcome again to all of our listeners. This is the last episode that we're doing for the month of October, one of my favorite months ever. And then we're going to make way for the best month ever, November. And I want to shout out all my Scorpios out there. It's Scorpio season. I don't care about this astrology stuff, but when it's Scorpio season, you already know I get excited. My spirits get lifted up even more. My chakras are even more in line. It's because I'm a Scorpio, apparently, so I'm excited.
Interesting. I do believe the people that don't really care much about zodiac signs, they only care about it when it pertains to them.
Duh.
Then they might be a little bit more interested in it.
Of course, duh, because it's about us.
But all year around, it's like, you know.
Whatever.
But even if something's brought up about your sign, you're gonna be very skeptical about it, or like push it away if it doesn't feel like it's really you.
That's true. But I will say this, being a Scorpio is different because every Scorpio that I've ever met in life, they're really freaking proud of being a Scorpio because apparently we're like the most mysterious of the whole zodiac sign, and people are way more intrigued about Scorpios. Either every time I tell someone I'm a Scorpio, it's either like, ooh, they're intrigued, or, oh my God, you're a Scorpio, I'm scared of you, get away from me, sort of thing. So that's my experience with my birthdays.
Yeah, everybody has their own principle.
Yeah, everyone has their own weird-ass principle. I think it's all stupid, but now that it's about us, now that it's about me, now that it's about all my other people that I know that are Scorpios, I can enjoy it a lot more.
Hey, you know, sometimes people just want to be discriminatory towards somebody, and zodiac signs might be the easiest thing.
Yeah, it is one of the easiest things because it's all pseudoscience. Yeah, you heard me. It's all pseudoscience. It makes no sense, okay, because they just use general observations of people. It's just generalization of people that can fit into anyone, honestly.
I always wondered, once more information from the James Webb telescope comes into light, isn't it strange you could see the universe being created from the back? It's like, but how does it connect to the zodiacs when these stars, you know, they're so far away?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, show me the Gemini constellation. Show me where that is, huh?
It tends to change over the next centuries, and not even centuries, like thousands and millennia. Stars do change in the sky because things move.
Yeah, things move. So they start to create, as we saw with the James Webb telescope. We saw the formation of new stars being made in real time.
Yeah,
that was nuts to see.
And that's kind of where zodiacs come from stars and time and dust and clouds and light. And of course, we were not able to see these beautiful stars at night unless you live in a very low light dense area.
Yes.
but not these cities, not these walkable cities. You have to kind of like leave, go to some like, I think last time I seen beautiful stars that night was in the Caribbean when I went to Haiti not too long ago. I think 2018 around November time.
Okay.
Beautiful stars that night. It's like, wow, this is I don't know where you pick up the zodiacs from these stars. They're just lights in the sky.
I don't even see them in Trinidad anymore. Trinidad has gotten so developed now where, and I haven't been back since 2011, but even back in 2011, I haven't seen stars in Trinidad. And I remember going out to the mountains and not being able to see that many stars. Of course, you could always see the North Star because it's the biggest star other than like the sun or anything like that. But North Star being the biggest star, that's about it. Just being secluded in the mountains, I still wasn't able to see a sea of stars in the sky, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so it's going to be Halloween on Monday.
Yes.
But a lot of people are going to, probably like myself, is going to celebrate over the weekend. Gio, do you know what you're going to do? And do you know what you're going to wear?
So, fun fact, I have not dressed up for Halloween ever since I was a child. Okay, so I haven't dressed up anymore. I haven't done any sort of costume design or costume making or anything like that. And I think the last time I actually had a costume was when I was a Grim Reaper for trick-or-treating, and that was one of my favorite costumes ever. Thankfully, now that I'm a grown adult and I can do certain things where I can just buy certain clothes and I can just be like, oh, hey, I'm a part of this. I have a Hellfire Club shirt from Stranger Things, so I can just say, hey, I'm from the Hellfire Club, Stranger Things. That's it. That's my costume. Am I going to do anything for the weekend? Unfortunately, Bastion, I work on the weekend, so I work Saturday here at BAI. Sunday's my only day off, but I was able to make sure that I got my PTO day on that Halloween Monday because A, we still live in the hood. Well, I still live in the hood. And B, hey, it's just a tradition. You don't really go outside during Halloween. My block, we have not celebrated Halloween on my block in years. And it's actually really sad. I feel bad for all the kids who want to do the traditional Halloween trick-or-treating, but they can't really do that anymore.
Interesting. It hasn't been that hot back in Queens. There was a time back in 2007, 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
A lot of people said like you shouldn't go out during certain times of night because that's when gang violence will happen. And people will get sliced up, but not like 1 out of 10 people. It could be like one person, and that's the only thing that gets reported at night. I always deemed it as just a coincidence, and they want to blame on certain things. But
Right.
I never truly believed that it will be, gang violence on that particular holiday. But it could still like resonate within the history of Halloween. Like I was saying last episode, how the reason we have the Halloween the way it is today is because people will use this holiday to kind of like do a lot of property damage,
Mischief
in the city, and mischief stuff to the point the city said, hey, we no longer could spend like $2 million for one, like to fix $2 million of like the city every single year. This is kind of getting ridiculous. What should we do to fix it? So I'm sorry that your neighborhood is still
has not recovered.
Has not recovered mentally, even though I'm pretty sure nothing happens outside.
Oh, nothing ever happens. It's so dark. Like nothing happens during Halloween. And I think for the past couple Halloweens, it's been raining a lot.
Interesting. So no one's really knocking on your door.
No one's knocking.
To be honest,
on your door.
I wouldn't knock on your door for candy either.
Fair. Hey, I understand. I get it.
You're probably gonna give me some like some low quality candy.
Wait, first off, I resent that. Don't disrespect me like that. Why you gotta disrespect me? I am a champion of giving children quality candies, okay? I don't give them the off-brand generic crap, all right? I don't give them Milky Ways. I give them the nice, the fun-sized chocolate packs. I give them those. You know what I'm saying? I give them the fun-sized M&M's, Skittles, all, when you go over to the Target and they have those big Halloween candy packs, I give them those. I don't give them those cheap-ass generic brands, so I resent that, Bastion.
Well, I could talk for you and the person that maybe you'll be sitting in your living room once you hear someone knock on the door, you'll come up to it. But think back to when you were younger,
Yeah.
and your parents was like, especially your dad, was you hear like a knock on the door. Did they have candy prepared?
Yes.
Oh, they did.
Yes.
They weren't against. They weren't the Caribbean
No.
folks against
No.
celebrating Halloween like it's a devil worshiping.
No. My parents, I know my parents separated when I was young, and even then, my mom and my dad, they both wanted me to have that American ass childhood, okay? Because remember, I'm still first generation American, and so sometimes they wanted to Americanize me the best way that I can. So Halloween is a tradition. Yes, my parents, well, my mom at least, she definitely came from the church and all that stuff, but when she moved up here, she wanted me to have that experience. And so no, like I've celebrated Halloween. I've dressed up in again, I told you I was a Grim Reaper. Okay. I dressed up as some crazy stuff. And yeah, they let me enjoy Halloween. Now I know a lot of people, a lot of Caribbeans, I know a lot of Latinos, some of them, their parents, they don't play that. They think Halloween is evil. They think this is a devil worshiping holiday. And I know some of my peers, they weren't allowed to do any of that trick or treat and stuff. They weren't allowed to participate in any of it because it's all evil. Bastion, I'm curious to know. I don't think I've ever asked you. Have you ever participated in trick or treating at all?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But not my parents weren't like that either. Same as yours. This is live in the United States. I'm gonna participate in most of the holidays over here. Maybe the older you get, you can make your own choices.
Right.
As of right now, like celebrate Christmas with your kids and stuff. And I always found it interesting when talking to classmates whose parents are very anti Halloween. I would say maybe just like that Everybody Hates Chris episode when Chris's dad didn't want to celebrate Christmas because it's cheaper to do Kwanzaa.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. It's like you'll feel more comfortable that your child is home knowing that they're not outside, or you don't want to go outside with them either.
Right. To just knock on random people's door.
No, the random people door is easy because everybody's like that particular day people know, right? It's not like you're walking on someone's lawn in Texas like they're gonna pull up on you.
Right.
This is that particular day where people will knock. If you don't want someone to knock, you have a sign outside your door. So I deem it like maybe those parents. Now I'm older. I think maybe those parents were just tired. They didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to buy the kid's costume. They just didn't want any correlation on that day. It's like if I just tell them that I don't believe in it, it's the devil, I think bad things will happen to you, then the kids will be like, fine, we do nothing, and then thumbs up. So some parents lazy. Actually, no, I'm older now. I'm not a parent or anything, but I'm older and I'm lazy for some things. I just don't want to put any energy to it. But just going back to your original question, yeah, I did celebrate. I grew up in Kew Gardens, did some stuff in Forest Hills. Ended up living in Hollis, and nothing really was popping off in Hollis, really.
Okay.
There's a lot of older people that live there, but nicer. I think the younger homeowners would participate as well, put some nice Halloween decorations outside. So that's how I feel. Like if you have decorations outside in the house, that's how I know you definitely have candy.
So you trick-or-treated around your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't do that. For some reason, what always happened was my stepmom would gather my sister and I, and we go over to Queens, actually. We go to South Ozone Park. Don't say none because it's racist. We go over to South Ozone Park, and we trick-or-treat with all our little cousins and stuff. And what we did was, once we knew someone had candy, was the lights were always on. If the lights were off, you don't go to the doorstep. If the lights are on, they have the candy. And also, hit up the bodegas. Bodegas always give out free candy on Halloween.
Restaurants.
Yeah.
Stores. That local CVS. They got something.
Absolutely.
Barbershop, the salons.
You know what? I've actually never done the barbershop or the salon.
Interesting. Yeah, I've done it. Like I said, Kew Gardens is like this super old school. Still got the 1940s energy on that area.
Okay.
In terms of like landscape. So the way things are separated, there's a lot of storefronts. So I pass by saloons and salons and whatever.
Yep.
And bars too. Like, yeah, they're not going deep inside, but you go inside a bar, they'll give you candy.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Halloween candy, man, what's your favorite Halloween candy that you would receive? What is the go-to for you?
So outside of Snickers and Reese's being my go-to chocolates in general, I will buy that for myself. There are candies I usually don't buy ever, but I do look forward to if I ever receive it. And one of them, Kit Kats.
Oh, okay.
I never really buy it. I remember, once in a while I get a Kit Kat, but I never really buy it. Smarties.
Ah, okay.
I'm a big fan of Smarties because it's just like tiny, like pill-shaped candy.
Yeah,
I'm on pills. Oh.
That's right. They used to give us candy drugs when we were children. To all the kids that are listening to Black Seinfeld, I don't know if are children listening to this. I don't know. Go to bed.
Oh. I forgot the name of the bubble gum. It's not Hubba Bubba.
Bazooka Joe.
I think so. I think it's Bazooka. Yeah, Bazooka. And definitely Milky Way. For some reason, it's like I will never find or buy a Milky Way, but I usually get a Milky Way. But yeah.
Listen, man. Look, I love you. Okay, I really love you, and you know what? I'm gonna give it a pass because it's not you going out to buy a Milky Way. You're getting this for Halloween. I might give it a pass, but Milky Ways are at the bottom for me. I don't do Milky Ways.
So the thing is, I do agree. Milky Way, when you're buying it in like a bar format, it's too much. It's all caramel and
right. There's just nothing in it. It's just nougat and caramel
and nougat. But one bite is perfect. Anything more than a bite is too much.
Well, see, that's why you have to get the bite size.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Come on, I'm not getting full size candies from any of these neighbors.
Yeah.
But I always get the bite size. It's like shaped as a tiny square, enough for one bite. And I always thought it was just perfect enough.
Okay, not bad.
That's see, I had to correct you there.
Thank you.
One bite balance, perfect. Anything more than a bite, it's a little bit too much. It's like Reese's. Like you get the big cups. If you get 4, it's too much. You're not gonna eat it all. But you get the 2-pack, you're gonna finish the whole thing in a second.
Or even the one Reese's.
Perfect.
Perfect.
I'm not a fan of the tiny Reese's. I don't think it's enough for anybody.
Wait, the little mini Reese's cups or Reese's Pieces?
The mini cups.
Okay.
The mini cups.
That's fine. That's fair.
Reese's Pieces, not a fan either.
Really? I like the Reese's Pieces.
I think that's as nonsense as Welch's. Most Welch's. Not all of them. Most Welch's gummies.
I've actually never had the Welch's gummies.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's another candy I'm not a fan of either.
Okay.
And I'll enjoy,
Yeah. That's for sociopaths, honestly.
Yeah.
There's
one more. I'm trying to remember, but what candies are you a big fan of?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of these candies in particular, but of course, like Twix, Snickers, Kit Kats, those are like the top tier candies. Oh, sometimes, you know what? I have a candy that I don't buy, but if I receive it for Halloween, I won't mind it at all, similar to how you feel about Kit Kats or even Milky Ways. Butterfingers. Butterfingers are not bad. Yes, they might chip a tooth every now and then because of how hard it is, but it's really good.
Okay, so I see what you mean. I have to disagree with you.
You don't like Butterfinger?
Even a bite, disgusting. The layers, the flakiness, the peanut butter, not even the good peanut butter. I like peanut butter chocolate. You know, I like peanut butter in pretty much most things. I do not like the peanut butter and Butterfingers.
So you will not lay any fingers on your on any Butterfingers.
Oh no, I never. See, I love The Simpsons.
Right,
eras.
Bart.
Great commercials.
Yes.
Great commercials. Never liked it. I tried. Commercials made me go buy it. Never finished it. Gross.
Okay. I have a couple others too that I don't buy, but once I receive it for Halloween, I don't mind eating it. Another one, classic, because you mentioned the Bazooka Joe. Classic for me, Tootsie Rolls. I like a good Tootsie Roll.
Nope, gotta disagree with you again.
You don't like Tootsie Roll?
Nothing beneficial about it. I do think it's nonsensical, and anyone that offers it to you should, throw it right back at them.
Really? I
Yep.
like a Tootsie Roll. Even the different flavor Tootsie Rolls, those are pretty good.
Those are interesting, but I always felt like that's not Tootsie Roll anymore. That's another candy. Tootsie Rolls, it's very specific. You know, consistency is key. I'm not dissing Tootsie Rolls, just not for me.
That's right.
The other colored candies are good, but it's no longer Tootsie Rolls. It's nothing. It's not even the same.
So, wait, how do you feel about the Tootsie Pops?
And I never liked those either.
Never liked the Tootsie Pops.
No, those were bland. Yeah, now the taste is in my mouth. Now I gotta wash it off with this espresso, bro. I don't know what you did to me, man.
I'm sorry, man.
I can taste it right now.
I am sorry. I like the Tootsie Rolls. Let's see, what other candies do I enjoy? Oh, I don't get lollipops anymore. So any kind of blow pops are cool.
Perfect. I always thought they're like the best form of like lollipop because there's bubble gum in the center.
Right.
That's the key. That's kind of what you want at the end of the day, a prize.
Definitely. Candies that I did not enjoy getting. First things for candy corn. Candy corn is the devil. I don't know why it's being made. I don't know why it's being made still. I don't know why it's a thing for Halloween. I don't know who's co-signing this, who's signing off on this. I do not like it at all.
I have to agree with you too. So
it is god awful. Another one is old people candies. I know, like I guess Tootsie Rolls would be considered old people candies, but I mean old people candies like butterscotches.
Well, I like to say Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll's one thing. Twizzlers. Do you consider that's old people candy? Because it's been here for forever. Like Red Vines.
Like, I don't consider those like licorice old people candy. I considered like, the strawberry candies that every grandmother has with the strawberry
I never knew where to buy that.
Me neither, but I feel like once you hit like 60 and up, like you'll just find it. Like it finds you. You know what I mean? Like now that we're not adults anymore, the shapes of the Twix cereal is no longer like the shapes of actual fruit. It's just circles now because we're no longer kids. I feel like it's the same thing when it comes to those little strawberry candies that your grandmother has. You have to reach their age in order for you to find them because I don't know where they are at all.
That's something I thought about. But yeah, I do think Twisters is old school candy, and I do like them. Come in small amount, good enough for me.
I don't know, man. I don't really rock with their licorice anymore. Twizzlers or Red Vines. I don't know. I guess I outgrew them.
Just no longer interesting.
Yeah, no, not at all. It just tastes like rope.
Rope, yeah. It's like rope too, like M&Ms, the chocolate M&Ms. I like the ones with the yellow bag ones.
The peanuts.
With the peanuts, those are good.
Yeah.
Like those make sense, but the regular ones, I always thought were just trash.
Those are the devil. Those are not good. It's low quality chocolate.
It is, right?
It is
melts in your hands and it just disappears once you put like pressure on your tongue. And it's like disappears and like wow, it's gone.
That reminds me of a 50-cent bar with Candy Shop.
Yep. I don't remember it.
Melt your mouth,
sure.
girl, now your hands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you the man of the people.
What was one Halloween costume that you remember as a child that you went outside for Halloween?
Grim Reaper, but it wasn't really like a Reaper mask. I did had like the psych. I don't really recall my other. I did something for Star Wars too. I just don't remember what. It was like a clone trooper.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I really don't remember my costumes. Surprisingly,
oh man,
it was always a mask, and then I just kind of lose the mask.
Yeah, I swear, black people, we love wearing masks for some reason.
And the other thing too is it's expensive putting up money for like a real nice costume too, especially if you plan it out.
Right.
Like there's those real nice costumes. Like the costume I'm going out with, I kind of had to like put different costumes together in order to be this Death Eater, and I have the wand, right? There is a real Death Eater mask, but all of them are being produced in China. Hence, they
Ah,
take 60 days.
right.
I would have had to order it 2 months ago in order to be prepared.
I know.
And in order to get like the full suit of it, I think it costs like $300+.
This is a real investment when it comes to Halloween costumes, man. I know people that order their stuff like a year out.
See, like, depending what it is, if it's like a stormtrooper costume, cool. But I would need a place to host it up so it stays outside all year round. Ain't no way I'm putting that in the closet so no one could see it. Like, I spent bread on it.
Right. You don't want to only put it up for one time a month.
Yeah, no, that'd be nuts.
Hey,
Wearing
man.
it just because.
Hey, man, you got to put that in rotation, though. You know, sometimes when you spend all this money for costumes and decorations and stuff, sometimes you just got to throw it up just because it's a Tuesday or something.
Well, if you want to do that, like, you could design your own Mandalorian costume and say, like, oh, this is what I'm going for. But
I've been seeing a lot of costume memes, Spirit Halloween costume memes floating all over the internet. One of my favorite ones is Ice Spice because of how legit it looks. Like, it looks insanely accurate. There's like a whole Ice Spice curly red hair wig, and she has on like a nice see-through dress and a red puffer with some Timbs on. I was like, this is Ice Spice. I want to see someone dressed up as Ice Spice.
and that iconic music video,
Yes.
which is now one of the biggest hits, New York hits this year.
Absolutely.
Another costume I saw is your favorite mayor.
That's right. Our celebrity mayor, Eric Adams.
What was it, like a bouncer?
No, it was like a hustler.
Oh, club promoter.
Club promoter, Eric Adams.
Club promoter Eric Adams. I thought that was wild.
That was a good one.
That was a good meme for a costume.
That was a good one, man. And I'm really excited to see what people are doing for Halloween. It's one of my favorite things to do on the internet is look up everyone's Halloween costumes because people go all out. People go as memes. I know definitely we're going to see some people as Ice Spice. I just can't wait to see the memes that people are going to be for this year. I want to see an Elmo and Rocco costume. That would be awesome.
Interesting. I'm gonna predict we're gonna get a little bit more Black Panther costumes.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever is coming out in a couple of weeks, so I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that. So I'm sure we're going to see that, definitely. By the way, I'm getting tickets for that show. It's 2 hours and 49 minutes long.
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh man,
So I'm kind of nervous.
it's cinema.
It is cinema, but that's
too long.
That's way too long, one. But also I'm thinking about all the other movies that was like 2.5 hours long. So Endgame, The Eternals, The Batman. So I'm just saying, hopefully this is good. Hopefully, because I'm doing this all for my birthday week. All right, I want this to be
The
good.
Eternals I never saw, but everything else I could say there was parts of it where it was unnecessary, but I see why it was there. Like Batman, like the last 30 minutes was like, we didn't really need it.
Yeah.
But that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Eternals. Right, it was actually on my birthday. I saw the Eternals. I was up all night the night before because I was at a friend's party and we saw the UFC fight with Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman 2. It was in Madison Square Garden, which I wish I would have gone to that. That would have been tight. But yeah, I didn't go home. The only time I went home right after that. It was like 5 a.m. I went home. I just brushed my teeth. I showered. I watched a little bit of Star Wars, and I went to go see the Eternals. And it was 2.5 hours of. It was boring. I'm not gonna lie. It was boring because it was like the Eternals had like 10 characters in it. That's all part of the Eternals, and so you're trying to flesh out all these characters. 2 of them died, which I didn't give a crap about, but you can't even remember who they are. And the only person that I remember was Kunal Nanjiani, of course, and his servant or whatever. That's it. That's all I remembered. And the dude who tried to be like Superman.
That's it.
That was it. That's all I remembered from the Eternals.
Interesting.
Oh, and Paperboy's in it.
Paperboy, yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
But yeah, it's pretty much Halloween. Yeah, let's get into the first song
Sure.
before we get into our next topic. So the first song I want to play is Holy Ghost by Some Children. Check it out.
All right. Welcome back. I apologize for that, Bastion. That was the damn computer.
Oh, okay. I thought it was me.
No.
I sent you the song.
No.
It's like,
no.
what? I didn't remember having any
It
issue.
wasn't you. I know exactly what I have to do. But I was enjoying the song. That was Holy Ghost with Some Children. Pause.
It's not pause if you say it. If you say it, then it becomes more pause.
I'm joking, man. I'm joking. All right. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just restarting the whole damn computer because yeah, this computer's old and it needs a fresh restart every now and again. But I was enjoying this song. How did you come across this track? How do you know these?
Well, just some songs I just had in my catalog, and I was looking for something a little bit more creepy. In terms of vibe, especially for this month, I know we haven't really hit the Halloween theme because it's kind of difficult without playing some children's music. When it's too much on theme.
Oh, like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Exactly. So some things are fun, some things aren't. I originally wanted to play some of the theme music from House of Dragon, Game of Thrones, which recently finished, because I thought that soundtrack is amazing, but the soundtrack hasn't released officially yet, so I'm gonna wait until it's fully out. Then I'll probably use one of those songs later on, only after you finish watching the series.
Okay, well, I'm going to start watching it now, so I'm excited. Well, I'm a bit hesitant to start back up again, but because I've been burned. Okay, that's still a sore spot for me. Okay, I understand how some people feel now, sort of like how people enjoyed The Sopranos after all those years, and they continuously watch The Sopranos every Sunday with a new episode, and then the finale happens, and they're in the diner, and the scene goes black, and that was it.
Just cut, just like that.
That's it. Cut. I don't know what happened. Did he die? Did he not? Did he just enjoy his food? I don't know. Did Tony get whacked? We don't know.
Speaking of things that are continuing or ending, Halloween ends.
Yes.
Let's talk about this, Gio. Like, you referenced Halloween in the beginning of the episode,
Yes.
and it got me thinking this is one of these franchises that they keep bringing back over and over, adding new characters, removing characters, creating different timelines, different endings, non-canon, retcon, back again for the new series.
Yep.
I think the one that you referenced was supposedly the true second movie.
Yes. So, back in the 70s, John Carpenter, of course, came out with the original Halloween series with the lovely Miss Jamie Lee. And then there was a sequel, of course. And then there was Halloween 3, which had nothing to do with Michael Myers at all. Then there was Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And then there's a couple of other sequels. And then Rob Zombie brought it back, I believe, in like the mid to late 2000s, where Michael Myers has this little sister who's also this murderous little butthole. But the Rob Zombie films are known for having a lot more kill counts than the John Carpenter. The John Carpenter films have a lot more suspense to them, right? And so what happened back in 2018 was they retcon all of the Halloween movies except for the first one that came out, right? So none of that Michael and Laurie are brother and sister. None of the background of Michael's parents or anything like that, learning more about Michael in the sequels. So it was just the first Halloween, and now in 2018 is the new adaptations or sort of the sequel to the late 70s first version of Halloween. So that came out in 2018. This was 40 years after the original events that happened, of course, where Laurie is now not even a mother anymore. She's a grandmother, and she lives away in this secluded area. Michael's gone away in prison after the events that happened in the first movie, of course. He escapes. And Lori is this. She's a woman who she always stayed prepared. You know what I'm saying? She had the blicky on her. She had all these booby traps. She was basically waiting just in case Michael Myers ever came back, you know, and she raised her daughter to basically be an assassin, and she didn't want and the daughter didn't want her daughter to grow up that way. And of course, Michael Myers escapes from his mental asylum in prison, and you know he goes back for Laurie. So that was a great. That was honestly, if I want to rank the Halloween movies, I would think that's easily in the top three. The adaptation that came out, the new one, the reboot that came out in 2018. I think that was a fine movie. They started off really strong, and then I will be honest with you, Bastion, and went downhill after that. It all sucked from there. Okay,
Hollywood magic.
Hollywood magic, man. Not even Hollywood magic. It just didn't make a lot sense. The next movies around. So Halloween Kills came out last year, back in 2021, October 2021, and I saw it in theaters. And Halloween Kills was more of an ode to the Rob Zombie films, which again I said it has more of a high kill count. So if you're in those movies and you remember all the kill scenes, all the kills that happened in the Rob Zombie films, then this was more of an homage to those Rob Zombie fans of his take on Halloween. So I'll never forget, right? This was towards the end of the film, and basically the town where Michael is terrorizing, they were on their last legs. They were sick of Michael, right? So what they did was when they found out Michael was still roaming the streets, they found him, right? And the whole town was beating on him, pouncing on him, hitting him over the head with a lead pipe, stabbing him up and all that. This dude, Michael, got up, right? Mind you, he's an old man now. He got up and he basically slaughtered the whole town. He slaughtered like a good 30 people. He was like invincible, okay? So, this leads us into the last movie, all right? Halloween Ends. And by God, they should end this. No more of these movies, because I gotta be honest, this one was even worse than Halloween Kills, Bastion. It was not good. Ask me why.
Not even remotely in...
No, ask me why.
Yo, Gio, why wasn't Halloween Ends beautiful end to a trilogy?
I will give the main reason why this movie was not good was because of Corey. Ask me who Corey is.
Who's Corey?
Corey is the main focus of this damn film, and that's the problem. I did not watch Halloween Ends to learn about frickin' Corey. Corey, who is this next conduit to Michael Myers. He's more of the sympathetic type of character, because in the beginning of Halloween Ends, we are introduced to Corey, who is this smart guy who's really good at math, he's really into the sciences, and of course he's trying to make extra money, so he started babysitting, right? This one Halloween night, he's babysitting, and I'm not gonna lie, the kid that he's babysitting, he is being a little butthole. I won't lie to you about that. The
Gio said no brats in my movie.
No brats in my movie. So the kid locks Corey upstairs in like the attic or whatever, and so he's trying to shake on the door to try and get it open. But what happened was the kid was right in front of that door, and so when he opened the door, finally, like he kicked down the door, the kid toppled over and like he fell to his death basically. And so because of that, people in the town started looking at him as weird, started looking at him as a murderer, because they thought he did that intentionally, which he did not. It was an accident, but you know, when a little 5-year-old boy's parents come walking in the house and they see their son dead with a pool of his own blood, you know, the town starts talking, because it's Hatfield. It's a small town. And so that's how the film starts, okay? Laurie's daughter's dead. Michael killed him. So it's just Laurie and now her granddaughter. And Corey and the granddaughter start developing a little relationship because they understand what it's like to be misunderstood and have the whole town judge you and all that stuff, right? And Corey's getting picked on and bullied by high school students. Meanwhile, Corey's like a grown-ass man. He doesn't have much friends. He's sort of like the social awkward kind of dude, and so you feel for him in the beginning, and then he starts accidentally killing again, and then he meets up with Michael Myers. Michael Myers, this takes place four years after Halloween Kills, by the way, Bastion. And so Michael Myers went into hiding, so no one knew where the hell he was. It turns out he was in this damn tunnel the whole time, and so so Corey finds him in this damn tunnel, and then Corey started wrestling Michael Myers, and then like Michael looked at him, and so here's what happened, right? They started tussling a little bit, right? And then Michael looked into Corey's eyes, right? And Michael can see all the crap that Corey's been through. He saw the killing, he saw what he's been going through mentally, emotionally, physically, and it's either Michael took pity on Corey and showed him the ways of trying to be a killer, or Michael instilled his evil into Corey because Corey caught some bodies. So that's what happened, right? And so ever since that point happened, Corey started developing into the next Michael Myers in a sense, right? So he stops wearing his little nerdy ass glasses that he wears, and he starts killing people on purpose. He goes out on the killing spree with Michael Myers, so like Michael is showing him how to kill, so it's like some sort of weird ass murderous bonding moment that we're supposed to see. Corey and Laurie's daughter get a bit closer, so they start becoming an item. Laurie sees Corey, and I remember there's one part of the film where Laurie's like, something's wrong with Corey. Like, I can see evil in his eyes. It's like how I feel when I'm around Michael Myers. And so I say all of this to say, Bastion, we're stuck on Corey for like a good 50 minutes in this like 1 hour 40-minute runtime. And that's the big thing that irks me, is I want to watch Michael Myers do some Michael Myers-ish. I don't care about Corey, okay? You didn't build this whole thing up for me to care about Corey. I don't give about Corey, okay? And that's the big thing about it. It was just this whole build-up for Corey and this whole Corey storyline. It was corny and it was boring. And then when Michael came for Laurie finally, guess how Michael Myers dies?
Corey.
No, Corey killed himself. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Corey killed himself, right? So here's what happened, right? Because I'm spoiling this whole damn movie. Corey went up to Laurie, and Corey's like, yeah, I'm in love with your granddaughter or whatnot. We got to get up out of this town. Blah 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 blah. Laurie's like, yo, stop messing with my granddaughter. I want to help you out because like you're on Michael Myers' spell. I don't know what he did to you, but he goes, I hope. And then Corey goes, I hope Michael comes back for you on Halloween night. And what happened was, Corey took Michael Myers' mask. He took Michael Myers' mask. He went up to Laurie's house. He tried to kill her, but Laurie was smart enough. Well, Laurie's too smart for that. And she shot at Corey, but Corey was still alive. And then what happened was, as the granddaughter started coming inside the house, Corey was like, if I can't have her, no one will. And he took the knife and he drilled it in his head. So it looked like Laurie killed Corey, and so the granddaughter was, oh my God, what'd you do to Corey? Corey. You see why I don't like this movie? It's because of Corey.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
They created a different not even timeline, I could say. Maybe they created a different arc.
Yeah,
type character,
right? The
just
focus
to push the first half of the story.
Right. The focus was more on this dude who I did not care about, which I understand why he's there. He's there for sympathy. He's here. He's there to see. He's there to show us what it's like for someone who started out as an innocent person develop into this ruthless ass killer. I totally get it. And if you want to play that story, cool. Just don't do it on Halloween Ends. I want to see the story of Michael and Laurie come to an end. I don't care about the new character of Corey. You see what I'm saying? That's one thing that got me bored and turned off from the movie. And a lot of people seem to be turned off from the movie because it got like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes after I saw the movie on. And thank goodness I saw it for free on Peacock. Okay, so if I tell you, Bastion, if I would have saw this in the movies and I paid for it, I would have been pissed off.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask if you saw it in the theater.
Hell
Did
no.
you feel like walking out the theater?
Oh, no, hell no. I saw it on Peacock for free. Shout out to my friend Tyrone. I got the free Peacock, so I watched it on Peacock. Yes. But you know,
So would you recommend this film?
all right. Here's how I'm going to recommend this film. If you are someone who has stuck by the Halloween series, if you've seen all the Halloweens, even the Rob Zombies, even all the sequels, sure, go ahead and see it just so you can finish it. If you are someone who wants to see interesting kills and all that stuff, if that's your jam, I'ma still go ahead and say don't see it. If you're someone that likes the suspense and all that of Michael Myers and all that, don't see it because it's not really there. Like the way he dies, it's very anticlimactic. It actually really sucks. I only recommend this to Halloween fans and people who like crappy Halloween or horror movies. Other than that, don't waste your time. It was a waste of my time watching it. I could have watched Hocus Pocus 2, but I'm going to watch that this week because as October is ending, I want to catch all the movies that I wanted to catch, and Hocus Pocus 2 will be one of those movies. And also Edward Scissorhands. I mean, not that it's a new movie or anything, but I just really want to rewatch Edward Scissorhands because it's on Disney+.
Interesting. Hopefully there will be no more Halloween movies, but something as strong as a scary movie IP will always get its resurrection in the future.
It will always get a resurrection in the future, Bastion. I mean, they redid Freddy Krueger like a decade ago. They redid Candyman. There's always going to be an adaptation.
That no one talked about.
For which one, Candyman? Or Freddy Krueger?
Candyman.
Oh, well, I mean, Candyman, this one was way more political than the other one. The other one was political a little bit, but this one was a lot more political than anything. I just wanted to... I was happy with seeing white people get slaughtered in the film. Just wanted to preface that. But, yeah, it was a lot more political than anything, and plus Jordan Peele produced it, so I was like, okay, there's gonna be some underlying thing here, and it was black trauma.
I feel like producing and writing, it's like you can only help so much with the script before like, all right, this is the script we're going to use.
Yeah, it was some black trauma in there. I'm not gonna lie, it was. It wasn't bad or anything, but once the reason why Candyman actually became Candyman was made, it was because basically the cop shot an innocent black man, an unarmed black man. I was like, okay, I know exactly where this is going. Okay, cool, no worries, I get it. And then they're like, I'm Candyman at the end. I'll never forget it. It was just black people saying I'm Candyman at the end. I'm like, oh, I get where we're going here, but I just wanted you to kill white people. That's all I wanted.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this beautiful review. Thank you, Gio, for checking out Halloween Ends.
Thanks. Wait, you don't have any recommendations?
No, absolutely not. I have zero recommendations for Halloween. So let's get into the next song.
Wait, hold on. Did you go to the Cecil Hotel like I told you not to?
Why would I go there?
Okay, good.
It's far. It's far.
It is. Wait, it's far from you?
Yeah,
Okay.
like by car is 20 minutes, but commute, I don't drive out here. Commute
Right.
is like a good hour.
Okay,
So,
that's good.
no, but I wasn't gonna go out there. I wasn't gonna check it out.
I've heard great things about last week's episode about how I broke down the Cecil Hotel. Oh, I just want to say, people, I don't hate LA. All right, I know last week it seemed like a big bash LA episode. It's not. I just want to let y'all know that I got nothing but love for all y'all out in LA. I love the music. I love the lifestyle. Would you ever catch me in LA? I don't know. Maybe if my job permits me to, then probably. But other than that, no, I'm good. You know, I don't want to go there. You know, no disrespect. You know, I just like my life. Anyways.
And speaking of LA,
Yes.
it's going to be the 10-year anniversary of Good Kid, Mad City.
No, it is.
And before we discuss it, I want to play one of the songs on that album called Good Kid.
99.5 FM WBAI in the NY. Greetings and salutations. Once again, this is Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing. That was Good Kid from the one and only Mr. Kendrick Lamar from the album, the classic album that is Good Kid Maad City. And before we talk about this 10-year anniversary of this album, we'd just like to say, hey, if you enjoy Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing, please give us a like, give us a favorite, share this. We have a podcast. It's available on all streaming platforms. It's available on Spotify. It's available on Apple Music. It's available on Google. It's available on Audible. It's available on Pandora. It's available on TuneIn. It's available on Stitcher Radio, Podbean. It's available on all podcasting platforms. Odyssey is another one where you can check out Black Seinfeld as well. But hey, if you want to do all of that, please just go to blackseinfeld.com where we have all of our latest updates of the podcast as well. Shout out to all the YouTube viewerships on Black Seinfeld's YouTube. Please give us a like, favorite, share, all that stuff. Subscribe to let the people know what we're doing here at Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
Nice.
Thank you. Oh yeah, we have social media too. Follow us on all the social medias, on the TikToks and Twitters and Instagram, Black Seinfeld NY, please.
Yeah, so 10-year anniversary, October 22nd, 2012 was when Good Kid, Mad City released. It's definitely freshman year of college. I do remember when it came out because I was looking forward to it all day. I ordered it on Amazon. I was going to wait for it rather than getting through the leaks. And I hope people understand, within the last 10 years, there's a big difference on how we used to listen to music before streaming.
Yes.
And I do see the benefits with streaming, where leaking a certain song or an album is less likely to happen because the studio or the record label wouldn't make the actual physical CDs until a month or two after the album came out. So, for example, the last album that probably got leaked very early was Beyonce's album, because those CDs came out the same week as the album. Rarely happens. The previous Beyonce album, Renaissance, right?
Yes.
Act 1 Renaissance is probably one of the biggest albums in a long time to actually have a regular standard old school as in 10 years ago layout. But yeah, Good Kid, Mad City came out physically. The album leaked like 2 weeks ahead of time. I was like, nah, I'm just going to stay away from it. And first time I heard it, it was like instant classic. This is a movie. You know, someone got to produce this on BET or something. And the rest of history was there because Kendrick Lamar definitely became that shining star example. Like, this is what a hip hop artist is.
Yes.
Where you have your good balance of rap, excellent balance of hip hop, storytelling, realness, right? The quote unquote realness is very, very there.
Right.
And relatability. And you just wanted, and it wasn't hard. Like, anybody could listen to this the first time and understood where he's going story wise. But yeah, this is what made Kendrick Lamar perceived as the next best rapper and soon to be superstar.
Yes. I think people have to understand this album came out at an interesting time in history and in music where there were before there was this talk about who's the greatest rapper at the moment, especially with the new school, right? Everyone was still fighting for that top spot. Drake was still definitely one of those top prospects, right? But Kendrick was still was still underneath Drake for lack of a better term, right? Yes, he had buzz with Section 80 and stuff, but I know that once he came out with the singles, right, such as Swimming Pools, I know some hip hop heads were like, "Oh, I don't know how I feel about this single." It seems like, it seems like Kendrick is sort of just chasing that sort of mainstream sound. But also you have to remember too that this was when J. Cole was dropping Workout, so people started side-eyeing J. Cole a little bit. And let's not forget, this was around the time where Drake was singing heavily. Drake was definitely the top guy, but Drake was definitely was the emotional guy. This was the height of the Drake is like meme. This is the height of Drake is sensitive. This was the height of all that. That's the height where Drake started woofing his hair out with the little mini fro curls, and you saw dudes start wearing those, having the Drake sort of hairstyle. I remember that era very vividly. So it was important for hip hop, for rap to know that the future of hip hop and rap would be okay. And when Kendrick Lamar finally decided to bless us with Good Kid, Mad City, this was the album where new fans of rap, younger fans and older fans alike can come together and be like, you know what? The future is going to be bright because of that man, Kendrick Lamar. You know why? Because he was also, remember back in 2012, Bastion, that was the iconic Coachella performance with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, where Dr. Dre brought out Kendrick Lamar and co-signed him too, and they played The Recipe at Coachella Live. So that was like a nice symbolization of, hey, this is gonna be our guy for the West Coast. I thought that was heavy. I thought that was important too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, yeah, you're right. You had the Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg co-sign.
That's right.
That's times 20 for anybody.
That is times 20. But then once the album came out, that was the stamp that said, you know what? We're going to be okay because this is going to be our guy, okay? Drake can be for the machine. Drake can be for the mainstream. Drake can be for everyone. But Kendrick, if you want that realness, if you want that real rap, if you want a story, if you want compelling flows and bars, if you want a great story, if you want everything to flow together, you go to that man, Kendrick Lamar. Because that's exactly what Good Kid, Mad City did. I've never been to Compton, Bastion. But guess what? Kendrick Lamar painted a vivid picture on what it's like for just a regular dude with his friends just hanging out in Compton, getting into trouble, trying to get some poom poom, doing some dirt, getting into some more trouble, That's what it's like. Great weather, women, weed, and weather. Definitely, it's still a classic album. And I listened to it back before we did this episode, and I was like, damn, this is one of those albums that it's just timeless. It just fits today. It fits in this era. And it's just so good.
I do say there's only one weak point to it, which is the visuals and the music videos.
Yeah.
I thought Kendrick Lamar's music videos weren't good for a very long time until To Pimp a Butterfly, and now just much easier to be creative. Maybe the budget's better.
Well, that was a different version of Kendrick.
It was a different version of the Kendrick. He was trying to stay into little mainstream neighborhood.
He was mainstreaming a little bit by the way that he dressed back then, his haircut, just everything about it. He was a lot more active back then. He mixed and mingled. He was mixing and mingling with a lot of artists. All right, that now Kendrick ain't going outside for no one. Okay, that we don't hear from this man. But back then, because he was still up and coming, he was still trying to establish himself. You know what I'm saying? He was still mixing and mingling with the ASAP Rockies and the 2 Chains and the Drakes of the world, and
I was kind of nervous for him around that time because he was doing too well feature wise. And I've said this on the show many, many times. If you want someone that's a very good feature artist, Big Sean. He is the standard. Not too much, just right and memorable enough to make the song still work. Kendrick Lamar at that time was too much.
He was murdering
and it
everyone.
turned to his song. And I remember I was listening to back then. Internet blogs was much more complex back then.
Yeah, it was 2 Dope Boys and Nah Right. Yeah.
So every time a song will come out, it will be
Pigeon
on top of
Plains.
the page. You click play, you listen to it, and then you could judge in the comments. I miss those days, in my opinion. I think those times were much simpler for listening to new music. Now it's all muddied by streaming platforms and playlists. Yeah. Anyways, every time you see the new Kendrick Lamar, it'll be on top in the first page. You listen to it. Oh, Kendrick killed it, and that's it. Whoever was on that song, that artist, did not exist. It did not matter.
Yeah.
And I do think Drake does that a lot now, but it's a little bit more balanced to the point where it's not his song. And there was a time where he used to take the song for himself as a single wise.
Yes, that's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
But what Kendrick did is it's not a single per se. It was a song on the album that Kendrick happened to kill. So he never took that song to the charts like Drake can. Drake could take your song to the charts. But I could say Kendrick Lamar could ruin the flow of the album because his verse was too good. And the best example is The Game, The Red, first track. Kendrick Lamar is in it. You hear his verse. You get to the end of the album, Wild Game. You really allowed Kendrick to kill you in one song and it ruins your album. Thanks, I guess.
What's that one track that Kendrick Lamar was in on Push's My Name Is My Name?
Yeah, I forgot what it was called. I had the song in my head. He didn't kill. He did a really good job to balance it.
Nah, he freaking washed Push on that.
No. I do think that it was a good
nostalgia.
Song. Nostalgia. No. Push's verse is still really, really hard on it.
It's good, but damn, that man Kendrick came in. Bruh, all them coke bars that Kendrick was spitting, you don't hear Kendrick on them coke bars. That man, there was a whole freaking breakdown, the dissect breakdown on Kendrick's verse.
I know.
Come
16.
on, dog.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
All right. Hey, like I said, I'm hyping him up during that era from 2011 to 2014.
Nah,
and by
he's still killing people on since.
No. Now he's like balancing it. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's fine.
He used to do too much. Now he's balanced it. And I like to say it's because of 50 Cent. I remember watching a 50 Cent interview. He told him to calm down, relax. You're featured for a song. And Kendrick Lamar does 2 songs with 50 Cent. Like, I'm pretty sure no one even remembers they did. And he was way more relaxed on that song than I've ever seen him. Ever. And I was like, oh, okay. Finally, I can listen to a Kendrick Lamar feature.
Yeah, because do you remember that time? I think this was New Year. I think this was 2018, and I was excited because I didn't listen to this song yet, and I wanted to play it on radio live, and it was Jeezy featuring J. Cole and Kendrick, The American Dream, right? Jeezy's going, he's singing, he's rapping, he's doing his thing, he's rapping about drugs and all that. All right, J. Cole starts rapping, right? J. Cole kills it, right? And mind you, J. Cole and Kendrick are not on songs with each other for freaking nothing, okay? It's very rare when it happens, okay? Yes, they did the Black Friday stuff where they took each other's beats and all that, and they rapped over it. But very rarely do you hear Kendrick and J. Cole on the same goddamn record together, right? So J. Cole's on this Jeezy record, right? J. Cole kills it, right? Because it's not J. Cole's beat. He's out of his element a little bit, and he's great on features, right? Then Jeezy came back with the chorus, right? And like, okay, it's time for Kendrick to start. And you know what Kendrick did the whole time? And this was the end of the track. All he did was harmonize. There you go. These streets made for walking. There you go. These streets
Oh
can't
yeah, yeah,
recall
yeah.
it.
I remember
I
now.
know. Tell me where the art is. I gotta eat. I gotta make money with. I gotta sleep. I gotta read. Lie on what is known to the traveling man. That is all to my Bible and my rifle in my hand. Oh yeah, that was the song. I was like, wait, what?
It's balance.
What?
That's balance. You know, you
And
said
that's the
like this
balance
is
you were
nothing.
talking about.
That's the balance I was saying. It's like I do think it takes years for certain rappers, and I do think it could ruin careers. That's why Drake didn't want to make music with Kendrick Lamar for a long time after he did the Marvin's Room Part 2.
Well, but also I think we're forgetting the elephant in the room here as well, because
What?
that's not all the reason why Drake didn't want to.
Oh, you mean the control
The
verse?
control verse, yes, it's the reason why.
That was one of them.
It-
That was
oh.
one of them. That could probably be like the very large straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes, it was.
But one of the many reasons was like he was just going too hard for the verses.
Yeah, but I also do think that control verse, it definitely changed a lot when it came to just the rap game, but also how some artists felt about Kendrick, because there were some high tensions between certain artists and Kendrick due to that verse. And Drake was not the only one, but let's not forget about Big Sean, because early on when Big Sean knew about the verse and stuff, people always asked him about it, and there was he always said, "Oh no, I knew about the verse, like it was nothing to me." But what started happening was there were more songs that Kendrick and Big Sean would be on, and you would think, as you say, Big Sean knows his roles when it comes to features and stuff. But I will never forget it, Bastion. This was ironically enough on a DJ Khaled album. This was Holy Key off of the Major Key album, and Big Sean starts off. He freaking kills it, right? I'm like, oh shoot, Big Sean Don, and then I thought that was it, right? But oh no, a man named Kung Fu Kenny came on and completely ripped Big Sean into pieces, ripped him into shreds. And I guess Big Sean, there was a bit of tension there. There's a bit of tension because people always talked about Kendrick's verse. And that was back in 2016. That's why I said maybe like after 2016 was probably where Kendrick actually calmed the hell down.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the Heart Part 4 where Kendrick in like the second verse said, my fans have been waiting for me to like sun ya punk ass, you a whole little bitch. And he was like tiptoeing around my name, you playing, and when I get at you, homie, don't you tell me you were just playing. And then I don't know if you remember this part. There was a part where there was a voice saying, "Oh, I got love for you. I was just playing, K-Dot. I got love for you." It sort of sounded like that man from Detroit a little bit. Kind of did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
No, I do remember. I think we did discuss this, or
Yes, we
at
did.
least I had this conversation many times before.
Oh, we did
And
have
I
this
will always
discussion.
agree, saying like, yeah, Kendrick Lamar killed Big Sean. I do think Big Sean can get on the caliber, or maybe if they're in the same room, they'll be equal grounds. But
Yes.
I think from what I remember in the interview, maybe Big Sean said he changed his verse. That was an original verse, or he did his verse first. So like Kendrick Lamar knew where to kind of bring up the next
Yeah.
bar. So it's like maybe if Big Sean heard Kendrick Lamar verse, he will brought the bar up even higher.
Probably.
But,
Absolutely.
like I said, Big Sean is the point key. If you want to be a really good feature artist, look at his discography of being features. Perfect.
Right. But also, since we're talking about how Kendrick Lamar didn't want people to really outshine him, who can forget about the classic on Good Kid Maad City, the Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe remix with Jay-Z. All right? Who can forget it? Jay-Z featured, freaking phenomenal, right? First it started off with Kendrick. Kendrick was great. Then the chorus, and then boom, Jay-Z. And Jay-Z's just killing it, right? Jay-Z was still in his 40s at the time. He was still young. Damn, Jay-Z was 40 10 years ago. That's crazy. But anyways, Jay-Z was in his 40s, talking about Hillary Swank and like Hillary Thank, and that whole cadence, that whole flow, fire, right? And then we thought that was it. Like, it was over. But no, since Kendrick heard that verse, Kendrick's like, you know what? I'm going to go again. And Kendrick went again. One of the few times where Jay-Z got killed on a song, you know? But hey, Kendrick did it. Kendrick was one of the very few who did it.
And they don't do that anymore. Remix artists, when artists remix a track, they don't rarely do another new verse.
Right.
They used to do that a lot back in the day, especially during the mixtape era.
Again, Kendrick was from that old school caliber.
He's from the old school mixtape era. So that was like the last remnants.
Right.
2012, last remnants of the mixtape.
Right.
2013. I'm trying to remember when ASAP Rocky popped off. I think it was around that time.
2011.
2011.
2011.
All right, so
yeah.
around after that time was like the near end of the mixtape era.
I will say, yeah, I feel like that "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe" remix. I feel like it's way more popular. I don't know, maybe here in New York. I don't know about everywhere else, but here in New York, it's definitely way more popular than the original version to me.
Yeah,
because
so
when Kendrick was, when Kendrick was in Brooklyn, like. He didn't play the original version. He played the remix. He did his remix verse.
He understood.
Yeah. He knew where he was. He was in Brooklyn. God damn it. I was hoping Jay-Z came out, but that didn't happen. But anyways.
Yeah. So this album, 68 minutes, TDE, Aftermath, Interscope label. It was a big deal when it came out. A lot of great
Huge deal.
production. DJ Dahi, Hit Boy, Pharrell. And the whole thing was curated by Dr. Dre. So.
Yes.
You know, it came out 10 years ago. If you haven't heard the album, like, please check it out.
No, what the hell are you doing?
No, you could be a young person and you just haven't paid attention to Kendrick's old stuff.
You're right.
Because, you know, we could do that. We could listen to an artist, listen to his new stuff, and kind of forget how the first projects sound like. But please, check out Section 80. Check out Overly Dedicated.
Yes.
Right, the Kendrick Lamar LP. Those are great projects. Section 80 is an amazing project too. I do think Section 80 is a perfect first album. But a lot of people may, if they understand the type of Kendrick Lamar fan they are, if they say Good Kid, Mad City is his first album, they're new.
That's fine. They were exposed to him from Dre and hearing Swimming Pools, and which I'm not mad at, but I think you should definitely go back and definitely give Section 80 a try because it's really good. It's really good, man. Yeah.
So let's talk about some albums that we've been listening to.
Sure. Yeah.
We only have like two albums on the docket.
Yeah, that's
that we've been trying to talk about for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's other albums I was listening to. I was listening to the Arctic Monkeys album. I thought it's really fire. I'm enjoying it. But for now, I want to talk about one album in particular that I'd like to formally apologize to one Lord Jaquavius. Is that his real name? Is it really Jaquavius?
I think so.
Well, I would like to give a formal apology to one Quavo and Takeoff, or as I like to call them, Dos Compadres, because it's no longer the Three Migos anymore. It's Dos Compadres, with Only Built for Infinity Links. First off, when I first heard the title for the album, I was already thrown off. I already had a bad taste in my mouth because of the significance of Raekwon the Chef, and featuring Ghostface Killah, of course, Only for the Cuban Links. It's classic album, all right, in the discography and of the Wu, and yeah, so that's how I felt. But I got it. I understood, right, because it was technically a Raekwon and Ghostface Killah album, but it's Raekwon's album, so I get the whole thing, all right. It's clever. I will be honest, Bastion. I'll be honest, and I will say, for one, I did not expect to enjoy the album in the way that I did. They work well together because they are neph and few, after all. Their nephew would. I don't know why the hell that's
Uncle
called.
and nephew.
Right, uncle and few. So they're uncle and nephew. That's the relationship that these two have with each other, and. A lot's happened in the world of the Migos as of late, and this album somewhat sort of reflects on what's been happening in the world of Quavo and Takeoff, and I appreciate their way of sort of explaining what's been going on, but also keeping that trap element of this album as well. One thing they got right this time, Bastion, it did not overstay its welcome. That's one problem I've been having with a lot of Quavo, Takeoff, and screw it, I've been having a lot of problems with these Migos albums as of late. Because Culture 2, it was over 20 tracks long, as well as Culture 3. It's been over 20 tracks long. I like when I hear trap music, but specifically when I hear from these brothers, I like for it to be short, simple, sweet, and to the damn point. And you know what? They gave me that on this album. Why? It's 18 songs. Yes, it sounds long, but it's only under an hour. So you know what that means, Bastion. A lot of it is under 2 minutes. So it's just in and out. So that's what I enjoy about this album. Also, they get a little bit spicy with this album. All right, they throw a little jabs on you know, the big question in the room, Bastion, the biggest question. And I know you wanted to know for the longest. I know I wanted to know this for the longest. And what has happened to the Migos? And you know what? They answered what happened to the Migos, Bastion. Do you want to know what happened to the Migos?
What happened to the Migos?
It's in this track Messy, where there was a damn Yoko Ono that broke up the group. And ironically enough, Yoko Ono is Asian. This person that broke up the group, allegedly, she's half Asian. I'm just saying. Asians have some sort of way of breaking up groups. I'm just saying, really popular groups. This isn't me saying this. This is just a realization that I'm finding out right now. Okay, where, you know, allegedly what had happened was this particular Yoko Ono was just doing not so family friendly things to one of the members of the group, and vice versa. There was a lot of cheating allegations that was going on, because I watched Young Miami's podcast, Carisha Please, on Revolt, and you know that the person in question was a guest on it, and young Carisha asked her, you know, about her relationships with Offset, and what sort of, of Offset, of Quavo, my bad, asked about the relationship or whatever, since it was highly documented. And, you know, apparently some cheating allegations was happening on both ends. You know, Quavo was doing some dirt, and then because of that, you know, the woman in question was doing some dirt as well. And, you know, it gets aired out on Messy. So I thought it was a pretty messy track. I enjoyed it. I loved it for what it was. I enjoyed the opener as well, To Infinity Links. I enjoyed Tony Stark's, which, you know, it shows off the wealth that they have still. You know, they might have been down to 2, but they're still wealthy. They're Iron Men. All right. But also it's a nice nod also. It's a nice nod to the Woo, you know?
Yeah.
So I love it, all right? You know what? This shows me they actually know about some rap stuff. They actually know, all right? Because sometimes, you know, we like to think because, you know, these brothers do a different offshoot of rap music, they may not know about certain artists or whatnot. But no, that's not the case. They give a little ode, a little homage to what came before. And so I respect it.
Interesting. So I do think it's I did listen to the project, but not a lot. I did think it was good for what it was. I do think some of the songs were short enough. As you said, it didn't overstay. But it was still a lot of songs, you know, we're talking about 18 tracks.
Yes.
The thing is, like, I'm not too huge on I could say the Migos vibe, the Atlanta type style. It's a bit repetitive. I'm kind of tired of it, if anything. So even the other rappers, I listen to the projects, like, okay, they're using these type of beats, these type of drum sets. It's kind of getting a little bit boring. But if you enjoy it, Gio, I believe, because I didn't put a lot of time into this project, into terms of listening. But what would you rate it?
Oh, it's it's a solid 6. It doesn't offend anyone. It doesn't offend me. It's cool.
But you said you like it.
I did like it.
6 is a good okay.
It's a good score. Yeah, it's above
Okay.
average.
Any songs that's sticks out for you?
Definitely Messy. Definitely Two Infinity Links. See About It with of course DJ Mustard. Um, Chocolate with Young Thug and Gunner. You know how that goes. Us versus Them, featuring Gucci Mane, because Guap, and yeah, I said Messy, right? Yeah, okay, cool.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yep. So there was another album that came out around that time. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it.
I actually did.
Oh, cool. All right. So it's called it's Open Mike's Eagle, and who I spoke about on the show many times before. Open Mike Eagle came out with a new album called Component System with the Auto Reverse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this idea is supposed to be like an album, but mixtape in a way, because it uses old school styles, so like the early, I can say the 90s and early 2000s kind of drum kits and boom baps to it. But I still think it's done enough where it fits into today's modern sense of music.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't go all the way, which he shouldn't do either. I don't believe artists should ever go back through a whole style. Like, you still should make it modern. But other than that, this is another one of his albums. Last album he came out with was 2 years ago, Anime, Trauma, and Divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And this album almost fits the same themes as that album, but a little bit more in terms of I'm getting older. Right? He's much older. This album is more like a reflection album. He's looking back at his career and also what he's been thinking about during the pandemic as well. So there are very interesting tracks, just like in
no wonder
track
why he
3.
sounds sad.
Yeah, some songs he sounds disappointed. I would like to say there's a lot of disappointment, and some songs like 79th and Stony Island and I Retired, Then I Changed My Mind. Those are 2 songs that I thought he was looking back in his career thinking that he should have done things a little bit different, right? Like, I like that track, and I did send that track to you. It's like, hey, this is pretty much like the overall theme. Like, if this was an essay, this would be the thesis of the album.
Right.
So track 6, I Retired, Then I Changed My Mind. And in the song, he has I'm going to just pretty much say a couple of the verses, kind of analyze it to give you a good picture of what the album is. In one of the verses, one of the bars, he said, "Looking back, I sure could have used a rivalry. I hated some folks, but I kept it too casual. I had a couple ops, but they were all supernatural."
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought about how rivalry does help grow one's career.
I told you, but hey, like you always said, beef is overrated in hip hop.
Beef is overrated in hip hop because sometimes it's violent. Most of the time, it's violent. You have the two people beefing, and it's the wrong type of beef because their friends are in the back scene killing each other while the 2 rappers are chilling and growing their careers. So yeah, beef isn't good in hip hop because niggas getting done things right.
Yes.
That's the only problem. That's just how I look at it. But having a good rivalry could help one's career in terms of like Jay-Z and Nas.
It has.
The clash did bring things a little bit upwards.
Or hey, even Kanye and 50, that was a good clash that, it wasn't any, sort of physical altercation, but both records came out on the same day, same time, and people chose. Or even Kanye, J. Cole, and Mac Miller all on the same day. Those 3 albums came on the same day.
And I could probably say the same thing for like Kendrick and Drake from the conversations we're having earlier today. They have a rivalry, and it does influence how they make music.
Yeah, well, it did.
Drake, it did.
It did
in the
for
past.
a while. Drake don't care no more.
He don't care. But at a certain point in time, he did.
Yeah, that was when he was light-skinned.
The reason he doesn't care anymore is the reason why the music sounds the way it does now.
Right, and then he gave us that whack-ass dance album this year.
That's very forgettable.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna judge this freaking album this week. I'll tell you that much. But anyways, continue.
So another bar he said, like, I could have had a better show. Hellfire Brothers used to talk about stagecraft. Instead, we drop bangers people could rage at. So we go to concerts all the time.
Yes.
And you saw Kendrick Lamar, and it was this beautiful theater piece.
Hell yeah. But people were raging in the front, though.
No, but it's still like he had a theme.
Oh, yeah,
like he
of
was
course.
doing things with the shadow.
Yeah. And then, the whole COVID stuff, too, so.
Yeah. So he was still able to do like some theater, some art craft.
Yeah.
That's why Beyonce shows are, expensive, because it's some high level stuff, dancing and everything. So he was also talking about, like, as an artist growing, maybe you should focus more on the stagecraft because you become more memorable, and maybe that can even help grow your career at the same time. That's why it leads to, like, get well paid gig, no fans to greet me. Right? So, I debuted at age 30, did everything good, but a year too early. And never going wide on the side effect, even the New York Times in the tiny desk. So he's done every single thing. And this is what I mean. This is him looking back in his career saying, I've done every single thing I was supposed to do, but it still didn't push me to where I'm supposed to go.
Right.
Where
or
I
where he
wanted
wants
to in
to
terms
be.
of career. Where he wants to be. Or like a decent spot where he's not too famous, but the money is good. And this is probably like the problem with being an independent artist.
Right.
Is if you don't want that type of scope, you're not going to get that type of bag.
Right. You're not going to, hey man, you're not going to be that type of person.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you a question because, he's reflecting on his past, and he's reflecting on his career. Who would you like to see in a friendly competition with Open Mike Eagle?
I do think he could go bar to bar with most rappers today, like the Big Seans and the Lupes. They just make two different types of music because his style is more composed of, it's still bar for bar. I won't call it backpack anymore. He did have a bar. He said, I think I titled my first album too boldly, because I think his first album was called, what is art rap?
Okay.
No, unapologetic art rap.
Mm.
And he felt, and I also understood that as pigeonholing yourself.
It is, because that attracts a certain kind of crowd that's going to be hard for you to shake off, unless if you switch up, because they're going to expect that lyrical miracle spiritual.
Which is fine.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying, if you want to be that, you have to understand that's what comes with it. I think he could have easily washed Hobson. That's just my point. That's just me. That would have helped him out a lot, in my opinion, because people don't like Hobson off rip. So I think he could have washed Hobson.
And I think that's what in the beginning of his verse, when you say he could have used a good rivalry, it's like he should have aimed for that
Hobson
type of energy.
Yeah, get Hobson.
No, I do think the idea that Tyler dissed Hobson and Tyler didn't respond back is the reason Hobson's career didn't pop off. Because people
like Tyler.
hated Tyler, liked Hobson, until they got older and realized, why do I hate Tyler again?
You know what? That's exactly when I started hating on Hobson, when he went at Tyler. I'm like, wait, why are you hating on Tyler for? Tyler didn't do nothing to you.
I wasn't hating on them. I just didn't like how his hooks were. No, I didn't like how he was just making fun of people.
Yeah, I mean, Eminem was his big influence, so,
Yeah. But I was no longer a child.
Exactly. I grew up,
Yeah, I grew up. Another song he did called Letter for Doom, and it's pretty much for MF Doom when he passed away. Mm-hmm. What's interesting, and he said in his verse, like, got 2 songs with you, but only spoke to you through the go-between, was still proud as to reach ground zero, because whoever rocks with the hero. So he did actually talk with Emmett Doom, and they do have 2 songs together. And he was just pretty much just going over different flows, and it was actually a really nicely done wordplay, just doing a lot of MF Doom references. But what really got me was the last 3 bars, where he's like, I gotta pick if you spitting on some art in my living room. I memorize your lyrics and even seen every interview, right? As a super fan, that's what you do. And the last line he said, I looked into the eyes of of the piece, he ain't really you.
Mm.
And that's and I thought like as an MF Doom fan, one of the reasons that like we would never go to a show is because he started selling fake people.
It is known for doing that.
Yeah. So someone could rap saying he's MF Doom and he's spitting a whole song and the crowd is booing because that's not him.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and Doom still get the check.
He's a real villain. He was a real villain.
Real villain. And one last bar, peak lockdown raps. He said a very interesting bar. He said, I got a discount code for therapy. I hit go and got Rick rolled apparently.
Yes.
I sent that to you and I said, I think this has to do with like those weird online therapy that podcasts do. Mm-hmm. And understanding how contracts work. It's like, oh, you know, use this code.
Better help.
But I was wondering maybe he didn't get paid out by them after people use this code.
I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I assume it's off rip. It's BetterHelp because it's a virtual therapy session, so you can text your therapist, you can virtually meet up with them. You don't have to meet them face to face. So that's a huge one in the podcasting world. I don't know anything about BetterHelp. Black Seinfeld does not co-sign BetterHelp. In fact, Black Seinfeld is not brought to you by BetterHelp.
And the last track was called Kites with Video Dave and Still Rift. They also have other verses within the album. And the verse is pretty much like a will. Everybody kind of wrote a will in their verse about like the future. And it's like, yeah, you know, when you could do you, continue, and I'm probably going to watch over you. So, yeah, definitely check out this album. It's actually one of my favorite albums this year. Definitely happy I had enough time to listen to it. Because the first listen, I didn't really like it that much. Mm-hmm. But by like the fifth, sixth listen, I understood what he was saying, what he was doing, where he was going musically. I really started to enjoy this album.
And, of course, if you like wrestling, he has a lot of wrestling references in his music. So I like that.
Yeah. But when you listened to it, what was your initial thoughts?
I'm not a huge Open Mike Eagle fan, so it was cool. I didn't hate it. I was like, it's cool. It doesn't
you just
hit
give it
me.
like one listen, right?
Yeah, it doesn't hit me like how it affects you. It's just, you know, I didn't really study the man's music like you did. I know you had him in like your number one album slot before and stuff. So
you say like studies, like no, I listen to a lot of music, and having some differences in terms of like rap structure is helpful to the brain. So you can appreciate other songs, you know?
That's fair, because I hate those rap structures, man. Rap on beat, damn it. I want it to be on beat.
He does rap on beat.
I know he does, all right?
Yeah.
But, like, for example...
in general.
Yeah, but also, for example, when he was rapping to MF Doom, you know, he was rapping in the Doom scheme a little bit.
No, not really.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't. You only heard the song once. He wasn't. Not to
Anyways.
clown you or anything. I understand Doom's language. Okay, compare it to how you did listen to a recent MF Doom verse with Black Thought.
I did.
And you heard how Doom was.
Yeah.
He was just doom. That's Doom.
Yep.
And that was an excellent verse as well. But yeah, check it out. Component System with the auto reverse, great album. Just listen to it, very quick, easy listen, 37 minutes long. Put it on repeat. Yeah, that's pretty much music.
Yeah.
Now we can get into sports. Now Gio.
No.
How?
No.
So
let's talk about the Knicks. How's the Knicks doing?
No, we're 3-1. We won today.
All right, cool. That's good, man. You know, NBA's back. You know,
NBA is back. 2022 is back.
4 games
It's going to be a very fun, interesting year.
That's right.
A lot of players are coming back from injury, like Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
Haven't seen him played in almost, I feel like 2 years, but maybe it was like a whole year.
Right. You know.
And over the summer, you know, the NBA is always filled with drama.
Yeah.
That's just the way the NBA works. It's kind of funny that way.
How does it ever?
One of Gio's favorite teams that he likes to talk about is called the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
And they had the most drama I guess one of the most drama because they have two superstars in their team, Kyrie Irving and KD.
Yes.
Kyrie Irving took the last year for his contract for his player option, so he's going to get his paid out. But KD asked to leave.
That's right. He was not seeing eye to eye with Brooklyn Nets management for whatever reason, and he asked for the removal immediately of Steve Nash, someone who he wanted to damn coach the freaking Brooklyn Nets in the first place. I just want to say that, okay? I don't know why we're talking about this now because everything has been resolved. All right, everyone is here.
Because that's your team. Your team is whack. So I'm going to talk about it and clown you on the radio like you do with the Knicks. Anyways, the Nets said, okay, fine, we're going to look for you to trade because he signed like a 4-year contract and he wants to leave after his first year. And that's a lot of money for a team to try to shell out for him.
Exactly.
And the thing about Nets, who can they trade for KD? It's a lot. They need a lot of people for KD. But by the end of the summer, they changed their minds and they sat together. Steve Nash, he flew down from Canada. He went to Brooklyn, said, all right, let's talk. Mm-hmm. They hashed it out and decided to start the season.
You damn right.
Now, one thing we can't forget is James Harden was on the Nets.
He was on the Nets.
And he was traded for Ben Simmons. Now, let's talk about Ben Simmons real quick. Ben Simmons is sad. He's not him. He's all-star. He hasn't been all-star in a while. But he's not him in terms of points. But he give you a nice assist. Defense is all right. But the game of basketball, it's about points. You can't be a point guard and when we need you to take over, you don't. You pass the ball. That's not how it works.
Did you see the clip where Kyrie was yelling at Ben Simmons to shoot the damn ball?
Yeah, that just happened earlier today.
Yes.
And what's really, really sad is he didn't look at the rim.
He did not look at the rim.
He had no interest in looking at the rim.
I will say this. I always thought, Kendall Jenner was someone who I thought was one of the normal ones, right? That didn't, give a Kardashian curse to whomever they have been with, all right? We've seen what happened with Lamar Odom, all right? He started smoking crack again. You see what's happening with Tristan Thompson. All right, you see what happened with Chris Humphries, okay? Look at what's going on with Ben Simmons, man. Look at him. Look at him.
All right, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
No, look at him. I want justice.
It's exactly the same it was when he first came into the NBA. He hasn't changed at all. Everybody else changed, and that's the problem. He was still the same player he was when he started playing basketball. Sorry to tell you this, bro.
No, he was more confident than this. He was more confident than this.
Sorry to tell you, his game was always the same, and it's been the same. That's why he couldn't go back to Philly because they called him out on it. Joel Embiid said, like, "What's going on?
I know
we need you to score. You don't look at the rim. Why are you playing basketball? I don't need that bum." He said that. Joel Embiid said that.
I know.
All right?
That was great.
That's why I like basketball players where English is like maybe their third or second language because because of the translation from the head to English, they say the truth. They don't walk around, making up lies and stuff. They're not delusion. They will straight up say the truth, So just talking about your Nets. Not to clown you, I'm done clowning you. There are
you're not.
1 and 3, but it's very early in the season.
You're not done
they
clowning
lost today against Milwaukee. Sad.
All right,
let's talk about your Lakers, though.
That's right. Let's talk about it. 20 years of LeBron James. That's right, Bastion. When LeBron James came into the NBA, I was 7 years old.
Russell Westbrook is still on your team.
20 years of LeBron James, something that we don't really see that often. It's an amazing feat in the NBA.
Can I ask you one question?
You were 8 years old, Bastion. I was 7 years old. Wow. This is a momentous occasion.
Mr.
20 years
Mr.
of yes, sir.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure. What's going on?
When will Lakers win a game?
Well, Bastion, it's interesting. It's been 4 games. This is a whole new team now, whole new roster. They need some time to find that little spark, that chemistry. I know that next game Russell Westbrook will be on the bench, and it seems like his time is now come, where we appreciate the man as the scorer that he once was, but now. Seems like he ain't got it no more like that. I don't know. It's only been 4 games, but it's still the early season. You know what I'm saying? We have 82 games to play. We've only played 4 out of 82. You know what I mean? There's still more basketball to be played here, and I think it's very ignorant of you to just question the validity that is the Los Angeles Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Where you have a leader such as the 20-year veteran known as LeBron James here to lead this team into victory. Let's not forget what happened 2 years ago, Bastion. Let's not forget that, okay? Where they won one of the most controversial, for some reason, most controversial seasons because of the damn bubble, okay? We don't want to talk about that, huh? But we want to talk about how they're 0-4. But we want to talk about how they 0-4. I think it's just ignorant of you to just bring that up like that. I think we should just continue to see what the season brings to us, and let's see what the Lakers can do, because after all, it's only 4 damn games. All right, look what happened with the Yankees, Bastion. They won they won almost 100 games this season, and look, they went to the playoffs and they got their ass swept by the Houston Astros. Okay, and so it doesn't matter how you start, Bastion. It doesn't matter. It's how you finish. Okay.
So I think they will win their first game by game 13 when they're facing Sacramento on November 11th. Or maybe they'll win the game for your birthday, November 7th, against Utah. But Utah is a very interesting team,
Well, we will see what happens, Bastion, and I have my faith
might go
in the
0
Lakers.
for 13. I might say 0 for 12. I think they'll be 0 for 12.
Nah, now that's just hating. That's just hate. So let me ask you a question now. Since you're an LA resident, are you seeing Clippers jerseys more often now because of 4 games?
Clippers, no.
Exactly, because it's always going to be the Lakers, no matter how you slice it and dice it.
Kobe.
It will always be the Lakers because we're a dynasty. Okay.
Dynasties could have bad years.
Exactly.
But this is an embarrassing year.
It's been 4 games.
It's been remember last season?
Yes.
Remember like the players they got and who they have?
Yes, they were all old.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You don't remember any players.
They had Melo. Yeah, I know that.
We had Melo this year, right?
No.
Okay, I was just trying to
Exactly. No, you don't. All right? Stop trying to play me. See, I'm sick of Bastion. He always trying to play my IQ of basketball, and he act like I don't know what I'm talking about. And then I have to school him back then and keep telling him I know what I'm talking about. And then I have to beat him, and I have to bet him on who's going to win the championships. I got to do this again because I'm sick of him.
So far, the Knicks is playing pretty well. I like what I'm seeing from Julius Randle. He's averaging 20 points a game. So is RJ. But Bronson has been our newest point guard since we got him from Dallas, and it's been pretty interesting, pretty fun to watch the Knicks play. I think their offense is flowing much better. I think they just need to focus more on the defense. We just need to face more challenging teams. The next team we're gonna play is Bucks, so that will kind of
the 4-0 Bucks. Good luck.
Yeah. But
Chumps.
Other than that, I'm very excited for Knicks this year. I like all the players so far. I just hope they could keep the same energy for the first half of the season, because I don't want like that beautiful, good first half, and then we just kind of fall apart.
Yeah, man, I hear you.
But yeah, shout out to the Knicks. One thing before we end the show, just letting you know, in terms of tickets being sold, Nets tickets are actually on the bottom mark. That means like Katie said, MSG is just not popping anymore. It's kind of embarrassing, bro. I guess the Nets just not the most interesting team in the NBA. It's the least interesting team. And that being said, this is Black Seinfeld, the show about absolutely nothing. Follow us on social media. Black
Get your
Seinfeld
Nets tickets
NY.
now. It's cheap. Get your Nets tickets now. It's cheap.
Yeah.
Go see KD for cheap.
It's real cheap.
You can go see KD for cheap, y'all. That's what it means.
That Knicks game is going to be really crazy because people
Yeah.
are just going to pay the cheap tickets for there.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. They're gonna play the cheap tickets for all the popping teams.
Yeah.
Steph, all of them.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Black Seinfeld NY. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach us out, blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on YouTube as well, just go on our website, blackseinfeld.com, and check out the video section. And from there, you can follow our pages. YouTube is going to do a very interesting update real soon, so it might be easier for you to find our videos. But as for right now, I do recommend going on blackseinfeld.com.
Yeah.
And we also have the podcast, so any type of podcast, just type in Black Space Seinfeld, and you'll be up to date. Please subscribe.
That's right.
You know, and share it. Let your friends know. And we're going to go to some nice Tom York called Twist. That's where we're going to end the show.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you in November. Peace.